Jubilee, I'm really impressed. You've actually made a video that is for young men. How did you let that slip through? And a dog is barking. Hope you can hear that, so you can feel my suffering and my wrath. Nice. Like some anime fucking villain. Oh.
All right, let's talk about trauma.
The music.
Trauma dumping?
Let's dive right into it.
What if we started like this? What if we all talk about maybe when we started therapy, how many therapists we've seen probably, and then can we end it with something that we're grateful for?
Sure, I love that.
My name's Franco. I've been in therapy for about a year and a half. I'm grateful to just be a better communicator just because of it. You know, just able to talk properly, not just throwing my emotions out.
I've been in therapy since 2019, which would be sophomore year for me in high school. I've actually only had one, and I feel really, really lucky for that. But my dad is
2019. So he's not that old.
a therapist, and my mom is like a counselor, and so they
That's kind of sus.
were able to find me a therapist in sophomore year.
I was a little suspicious because like, oh, his parents are therapists. As a natural young man, you're rebellious against your parents. That would already make me not like therapy at all.
I've been going to therapy for
Oh.
about
That's actually quite an interesting idea. But now comes the hate speech from me. You know, in the world, it's always bigger than black and white, as Gideon would say. So, if his parent, if I'm not wrong, he said his father is a therapist. If his father is a therapist, then that means, well, he has a different upbringing than most people, because if you are a therapist, you put a lot more, you would put a lot more effort into like evolving your kids' social skills and making them open up more, you know, easier. The fact that he has a therapist different than his father would make sense, because as a father you have a lot of biases because you're his parent. So then with all of the links his father probably has, he probably got a very good therapist for his kid. So in that way it makes total sense, and I think it's all up to what you're doing, because here the main purpose is to not sound so sus, because then everybody would take every single detail and they'd be blinded by the biases that you're trying to spot something, and you wouldn't be able to think properly and say, okay, I think this is sus, but I see how this also can make sense. Yeah.
I'm Cameron. I've been doing therapy for about 2 years. I went through two. One was a school therapist, and so I found another therapist outside of school, and he's been fantastic. So I've been working with him for about 2 years.
I'm Marcus. I've been going to therapy now officially, I'd say a little over 9 months. So it's still new-ish.
It's an easy excuse for a mole to be like, I've only been in therapy for...
Is it weird that I thought exactly the same thing?
I guess what I've struggled with is just, like you guys said, I think finding someone who could resonate with your life path is really what I'm looking for. And I think with my current therapist, you also have to put in the work and be honest. Like, I think that's a key thing too. Like, you can't, if you lie to your therapist, they can't help you. I'm realizing that part of it is putting in the work myself and being able to be honest with my therapist.
Hold up. What was that eye roll?
You also have to put in the work and be honest. Like,
That makes sense. No, that makes sense.
I think that's a key thing too. Like, you can't, if you lie to your therapist, they can't help you. Being able to be honest with my therapist, and at first we weren't really vibing, but we were starting to get each other now.
Hey, good humans, it's John. We want to thank BetterHelp.
Shut up. So, these distinguished gentlemen, out of them, I'm looking for your consciousness and your brains are well, your brain is somewhat like your brain is somewhat like a servant, like a butler, and sometimes this butler can can be a little sus and go against your will. And if you don't have good control, you can get in troubles. You can waste a lot of time. You can lose a lot of yourself. So you need to take control of the desires of your brain before and put in the first place your desires, your conscious desires, and the things and your goals. If you have a good control over your brain, I don't see the point of going to a therapist. I'm talking way too much. I got lost in the sauce, you know. So who the Princeton looking ass guy? He doesn't. He's way too aggressive, and that's a good strategy. He's sus, and beanie guy is also sus.
But
That's
we're
all I'm
starting
saying.
to get each other now.
Who's Cyrus?
Finding out that he has
Oh.
family that is in the therapy profession, I was like, that's a
I think
little
I
convenient.
understand it, but I wouldn't just go there.
I came in here and I was like, all right, there's
Oh.
probably two strategies. If I was the mole, I would be either leading the conversation or really quiet. I'd probably do what he's doing if I was the mole.
We actually have a tie.
Oh boy.
The tie is between Veth
I don't have a tie actually.
and Cirrus.
I started therapy to help me work through some traumatic experiences that I went through in early high school. I believe the type of therapy that my therapist specializes in is called narrative therapy. He has me kind of walk through my experiences that I went through, and then he helps me like shift my perspective on them away from, wow, this was this horrible thing that happened to me, specifically with dealing with things that happened in early high school. And I've been seeing him for 2.5 years, so.
I don't care. I like the effects with the neons. It because they flicker so much. It looks like it's there's a circle. There's like a frame of fire, and I quite like that.
Starting therapy.
Fifth?
Good luck.
I always thought I was a people pleaser, but I know I've also hurt people. I have a substance abuse problem, and I like to say hurt people, but healed people, heal people.
He sounded so scripted. Not saying that what he says wasn't genuine, but it just sounded so rehearsed that I was like, okay, that might be something.
No, I definitely agree with you, you know, especially like in the black culture, you know, it's a stigma for us to just even talk about like.
It makes sense. Using quotes. I mean, in the first place, the whole idea of hurt people, I think it's a very negative way of looking at it. The whole idea of that trauma would make you start behaving in a toxic way. It has merit, but just for a type of person. Because in the real world beyond the internet and all these academics and bullshit, you see so many entangled emotions and stuff that happen, and types of relationships that are so different from one another, and usually the trauma can either break people and make people wake up. So in the same time, hurt people or hurt people help people. I think it's a balance between the two. So you're talking absolute bullshit, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
Continue the game. Raise your hand.
Oh.
Going back to
Oh, the
aspect of
greed.
being a people pleaser, like at a certain point, I kind of lost what my identity was, and so I was just like, I would kind of
Shut up, man. He's the only one that didn't raise his hand. I told you he's sus. I told you.
into whatever anybody needed at that point in time.
that.
Yeah.
It's so hard to
Yeah, and so I just wasn't processing that I wasn't looking after myself at all, or what I wanted. Like I thought, oh, you know, got to get married, have kids, because that's what you do. And then I like asked myself, why do I want that? And it's like, oh, because my parents did that.
That could potentially be a strategy too, is kind of lost in the noise type attitude. So I was like, okay, if I was a mole, that could be easy to find a lie in there.
I feel you 100% on that. I'm in my 30s, haven't held a relationship down for X amount of time. It's like, and my parents never pressured me to get married or have children. I always put the pressure on myself. Never. So like, even just trying to deal with that when they're...
You see the issues that are found nowadays with relationships and stuff like that, and no, I'm talking about romantic relationships. People have become way more individualistic than they used to be. I just noticed that people break up on the dumbest things ever, like things that can be resolved. Now, I'm not saying that that you shouldn't leave people if you see a big problem, but if you're not trying to resolve the problem because it's too much of a hassle for you and you're willing to destroy a relationship and destroy everything that is good just because it's too much effort for you, always thinking about you, never being able to create meaningful things that will help you, will bring you happiness overall in life, because there is instant happiness and lifetime happiness. Lifetime happiness would be a family, a good job, a good skill that you can hone, many skills, stuff like that, stuff that are hard to do now, that don't give you much gratification now, but they give you great happiness in the future. Stuff like this gets lost in the sauce because people aren't willing to put that much effort in anymore, because they think way too much sometimes. You know, overthinking might just not be that good. I'm just saying. So I do understand where they're coming from, but sometimes maybe stop always thinking about you, if that's all you do, and in the same time, being a people pleaser isn't good anyways, because guess what? You'll waste all your time doing this stuff for this person and this stuff for this person, but at the end of the life, like I said before, you look at yourself and you think, wow, I really haven't done anything. So balance it out, boys and girls and women and men and elders and aliens, whatever the fuck you are.
Dang it.
Come on, man.
All right, boys.
I mean, I told you. Look at him. He goes to gym, so that's a very healthy way of controlling your brain, controlling your emotions, having something to gratify yourself. That's a good thing. That's a good pointer that tells me that he probably doesn't need therapy anymore. Then he seems like he respects himself, and also what did I say before? He really knows how to communicate what he feels. So you're the sus.
If you think the mole is still in the box and you
You're
want
a
to continue
mongoose.
the game, raise your hand.
Okay.
I really,
Was that a
I
raise?
think we got
I-
it.
I think you got it.
I guess I feel like we got the person out,
Okay.
but like,
Yeah.
I think he's in.
yeah, I feel like
And I can let
I think it's either him
I feel
or
like I
or-
trust all of
I
your
don't trust
stories,
them.
and I relate
I'll
to
never
all your
trust
stories
them.
a
Maybe I
lot.
need therapy. I don't know.
all right. Cool.
Okay, excited? We're gonna end it.
Yeah, you can call it.
We're gonna end it.
If the lights turn green, that means that you have voted the mole out and you all win. If the lights turn red, that means the mole is still in the box and you lose.
Okay. Red. I hope it's red. I hope it's red for
One.
the sake of the show.
This is why I have trust issues.
I trust too easily.
Hey, boy!
Sometimes it's
I
good to
told
have
you.
trust issues.
I told
Go
you.
with your gut.
Is the beanie
The
guy.
mole reveal themselves in
Look.
3,
I.
2,
Oh, maybe I shouldn't.
1.
Oh, I knew it.
I know
knew it.
I'm so
knew
sorry.
it.
Okay. You're
Shit, man. Shit, man. You know what? I regret everything that I've said, man. You know what? This guy right here, he's the goddamn GOAT. The Crimson guy, I told you, he's smart as hell. You need to be sussing people. That makes total sense. I'm dumb as fuck. I'm so stupid, man. How could I not?
So almost everything I said was true. My whole story, everything. My parents are therapists. I have seen a therapist before.
My guess was that like once you said that your parents were therapists, that gave me sort of like a suspicion. I'm like, maybe he just knows certain terminologies because he grew up in a household.
It definitely
had
helped. Yeah.
I went against my own fucking logic. I said, his parents are therapists, so that means he would have a different upbringing, so he wouldn't even need therapists in the first place. I'm so stupid, man.
And I really appreciate all the conversations we had, though. I felt like
No,
this was really awesome.
If we're gonna, like, it's lighthearted, it's fun. If we're gonna take anything from this, is that, like, you know what? Like, men can be vulnerable and can share, and like, and not at one point in time that I feel judged or chastised for anything that I say.
Jubilee, I'm really impressed. You've actually made a video that is for young men. How come? How did you let that slip through? That's you know what? I'm happy with this one. Now, look, my real thoughts. Therapy is very good for the people that need it. That's it. I think there are two types of people. The ones that can see like 3D fucking chess and understand and learn from their own actions by themselves, and people who need to be guided. And for the people who need to be guided, a good therapist is the best thing. If you have communication problems, if you can't find your worth in this life, not stupid, but simple stuff like that can be very hard to achieve in this life. So as I said, therapy is very good. I'm really happy to have seen this video from Jubilee. They actually made a not toxic video, surprisingly. And how well did it do? Poorly. And that's why they don't do it. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you had an amazing day. And if you could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment, push this up, and watch some of the videos I've done in the past, because maybe you will actually enjoy it.
Those words don't do you justice. Those words don't do you justice. Those words don't do you justice. Those words don't do you justice.